Welcome in. Welcome to this channel. You will know that this is for you if you have been feeling like contemplating what channeling actually is and who you actually are. Because we can talk about who we are, and our desire is to embody more of who we are. How do you know who you are? How do you know what is your gauge? Oh, but I'm just the way I am. What influence are you under when you're speaking? There are so many nuances to this. It's such a study because it is a mirror, right? This outside is a mirror. But when you start to interact with it, it doesn't seem like it's a mirror because it talks back to you, and it has reactions, and there's a whole dance going on back and forward if you're dancing with other mirrors of yourself. That's what others are. And some of us, we have been through some challenging situations and have gotten to see the truth of that, and that is sort of like still perhaps a little bit traumatized still from those experiences, but that is something that is easily amendable when you know how to maneuver and change your own energy, when you know that you are the one in charge of your life and you get to choose whatever life that you wish to have. You can choose a life where you are okay with subjugating your energy to certain things. Maybe you're happy with that. It's completely okay if you are, by the way. Everything is a choice in consciousness. But if you think that you don't have a choice, that's when we get into a little bit of a clash, because you've always got a choice. You can pack your bags, you can plan for the exit, you can completely turn your life around at any moment, and it's all up to you. When is enough with these habits? Sometimes they are seemingly good ones, but some of them come with a bitter aftertaste. Watch for that. There are so many temptations, things, getting the new this, the new that, staying up to par. That is just sort of, if you adhere to it, it sort of takes you. You just go straight into the next one and the next one. The same with the next superhero movie and the next superhero movie, and this one is supposed to be the end, but it's never end. There's never ending. You know why? because you continue to walk that path. Whatever path that you walk, you're gonna have more of that behavior, whatever it is. Even if it's slipping back into old shoes, more of that will just lead to more of the old. But if you want to change and make a commitment to yourself, it's not even about commitment. It's not even about commitment. It's just about seeing the truth and knowing and recognizing that, hang on a second, I can change anything with my life. All that is needed is time and focus. That's all that's needed. When you have time, well, you have to have, I would say, you would have to have some correct knowledge about how this works. And once you have the right knowledge about how it works, then you start to make a system. Because once you have a system that takes you upward in frequency and not downward, that's so important. Because whatever habits that you keep doing repeatedly, even the ones that seem good, become sort of like habitual. That's why the next YouTube video and the next YouTube video, it's sort of like you get more of what you're looking at, because that's both the algorithm is built like that and the universe is built like that. The more you focus, the more you click on, the more you focus on this one, the more you're going to get of the same thing. But recognize when you're in a spiral. These spirals, they can be subtle sometimes, but you can start to train and recognize them, because everything is a spiral. But once you recognize them, you can actually start to such a beautiful sunset here we're watching. Once you start to recognize them, you start to see patterns that is outside of the, it's like outside of what's actually happening. There is a story that is being built. And that is the story from Gaia. The story of what frequency you are actually in. This frequency here, this is a beautiful frequency. We really enjoy where we're at. We're watching so much wildlife. We really enjoy this. And when you place the body in environments that are like this, we have earth, we have wind, we have heat, sun, water. It is so healing for the body, so healing for the entire nervous system. But you still have to move. You still have to move the machinery in order to keep the juices flowing, the joints flowing. You have to continue the growth of your own consciousness. And what does that mean? It means, what's your next thing? What do you keep bumping up against? Are you bumping up against things with people? If so, what are they? Because they all tell a story. They tell a story of who you are in truth. And some of us have trained to see that, to read that. That's what we're inviting. We are inviting you to learn how to read like this. Because once you read like this is the world of energy. This is the world of Gaia. This is the world of the animals. This is the world that everything functions under. And this is much deeper than just the cycles of the planet. Although that plays a tremendous role as well, of course. However, nothing outside of you is outside of your control. You have power of influence in your nucleus. What you are thinking about, what you are contemplating. It is so blissful to know 100% that you're walking your soul mission. It is so satisfying. It's a satisfaction that no one can take from you or give you other than you walking the path. Our path includes sharing our path with you. And so that is what we're doing. We're sharing our deepest things that we have gone through over this entire awakening journey. And it really is a map to how you go from, let's call it being a starving artist, to clearing the pathways so that you're in alignment with your creativity. And it also works in the same way as people that are very mental, and they usually tend to not recognize it until they hit a wall of some sort. That is usually what Gaia does. Gaia shows you all the time this map. It shows you in this map. There has been tried to make books out of this, dream journals, and all kinds of techniques are possible to, like automatic writing. All of those things are techniques that are possible. However, there is a preparation that is needed for beings that are too intellectual or too much in their feeling. There is a middle ground that is being sought by the soul that wants to embody through you, which is you in your fullness. That is who you really are. And that is a much holier expression than what the normal you is when you interact with someone. Because there is a ceiling when you're interacting with someone. And we all have to go together up in frequency in order for all of us to make this shift. That's the whole point. The whole point is for you also to get this shift. For you also to know that you're going in the right direction. You know, not even, there is no doubt. And that's how it's supposed to feel like. Your feelings, they are a map. Some of you have already gotten connected to your body, and that's wonderful. some of you that are connected to your body might have some misinformation about the signals of the body. We certainly had that. We were in that category. And so this will help you so much to get connected, because both, remember, both needs to be in harmony. When both are in harmony, the intellect and the body, and both in harmony, that's when the creativity, and that goes hand in hand with your own spiritual development. It goes very hand in hand with that. That's why it has to be included. How well are you at communicating with people? Of course, it's part of it. How well are you at shifting through to the next level? That's really important in this game, because we are growing in consciousness, and we are growing faster and faster the more energy we allow. That's when the time speeds up. The more energy you allow, meaning the more you allow it to be in harmony and in flow. And when you manage to get to a certain momentum, it's just like a surfer catching a wave. It is just like that. How many things can you spin at the same time? Making sure that you're eating, you have that nailed. Your exercise routine, you got that. You are getting replenished with your body every day, doing activities that really light your body up. You got that nailed. Then higher intelligence just wants to work with you. There's one more. Seeing this energy world accurately and being in balance with your soul. That means that all of the beings that you're interacting with has to be done in energetic truth. That means that you have to tell the truth and nothing but. Pretty much, actually, to stay in harmony. Because if you are not sharing something, hiding, some things are not necessary, right? But certain things are needed to be spoken for the harmony of the relationship between people. Because then there can be clarity. We can't properly get together with people without there being honesty. There needs to be honesty, just the same as you're honest with your body. That's the first step. You also have to be in harmony with another being. That means you have to speak the truth to the best of your ability. And some things are hard to say, and that is sometimes the muscle. To be able to say what's hard to say, because it will move you forward in more energy. And it will move you towards harmony. That is what it's about. That is what this game is about. We're here to truly look after our bodies. Our bodies is one of the most precious things that we have, and how we're using it. And what is healthy for it. You know? The things that truly bend the needle, we like to say now. It's one of our we have noticed. is not so often talked about. Like being in an environment that lights you up, that really makes you feel joyful and happy. And that spreads, that energy spreads into everything that you do. When you maintain that frequency, and when you're able to maintain holistic truth or energetic truth, they're sort of the same thing. It's only if you deviate there that you're gonna feel off. Or if you start to manipulate the energy, getting your will, like all of those things. It's very important to just, we are living our life. How can we, are there any collaborative ventures here that can be a win-win? That's what we're looking for. Otherwise, it can be fun for the bodies, you know, but there needs to be fun for the bodies, and there needs to be fun for the whole, including everything. Wait. We just noticed that. I'm not sure if this is a... Okay. We have manifested this. We wanted to live by the beach, and we have spent almost a month just living by the beach. It has been so healing for us. I want to leave you, but I want to show you. So, say a few closing words today as I show you this. The real world can't be experienced other than through the body. It can't be fully experienced from a computer screen of any sort. Your body is waiting for you to step fully into your excitement. That is who you truly are. It's changing in every moment. Every moment is different. Every moment needs something different. That's why it's so good practice to inject healthy habits. Healthy habits that guide the body towards more health and vitality. That's really it. Lessen habits that do not do that, and increase habits that take your body into more disciplined joy, but for your upliftment. Sounds a bit weird, disciplined joy. But yeah, there is something to that. There needs to be discipline for there to be joy. In presence. Joy doesn't come unless there is presence, unless there is a consciousness here, present, moving the body, deciding. What to do next. So it's up to you what to do next. But if you want to join us and shift in consciousness just like this, changing and aligning to who we truly are day by day with daily channelings, then there is a link in the description. We're sending you so much support on your journey up in consciousness. We are excited for the journey that we are stepping into, and we are wishing you a wonderful next step up in consciousness. We're sending you so much blessings to your day. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. Thank you, Gaia. Thank you, lovely, lovely, lovely Gaia. It is such a trust to truly walk this path. It is like a free fall. But the one that you're trusting is the energy. But you have to learn first. You don't trust something you don't know. Right? You don't just go trusting for no reason. There is evidence to our madness. We can feel Gaia with us, Jesus with us, and we're so joyful to feel them guiding us. And you get to feel that when you are aligned, you also, with your knower and your feeler is what we're calling it. Once you are in alignment there, you have done great work as a human being. Just that alone is a tremendous leap in consciousness to be able to make that shift. To shift from being focused on the outside to work on your human, to be the best version that you can be. Sending you blessings. Ciao.